If you travel back tens of thousands of years, you will find that most people only did one thing: survive. Follow the rules, stay within safe boundaries, repeat the same text every day. For most people, that was already enough. But in every tribe, there was always a small group of people. They didn't need to leave the tribe to explore the unknown. They didn't need to climb to the very top of the trees. They didn't need to provoke dangerous wild animals. And yet, they chose to do exactly that. No one asked them to. No one rewarded them. There were no spectators, no applause. They could even die because of it. But they still pushed their limits. Because in a world without social media, without titles, and without achievement systems, there was only one way to be remembered: do what others were too afraid to do. As long as they came back alive, the entire tribe would see them differently. Their status would be rise. They would receive more and better resources. They were more likely to be chosen as partners, and they would often be trusted with more important responsibilities. In that era, those who challenged the limits weren't seen as crazy. They were seen as future leaders. Those who dared to explore the unknown were regarded as heroes. And these people were the very first humans to ever take part in what we would now call extreme sports. But back then, those actions were not called extreme sports. They were simply breakthroughs and a way to gain a sense of identity. After countless successes and failures, this behavior returned into our instincts. Even today, humans are still drawn to the extreme. But the world has changed. Modern society no longer needs us to climb cliffs just to find food or risk our lives exploring unknown lands. The problem is this: the environment has changed, but our brains have not. Our bodies are still running on a system designed tens of thousands of years ago. When we spend too much time in safe and predictable routines, the brain begins to feel empty and dull. Without danger, there is no sharp focus. Without risk, there is no real sense of achievement. So humans began doing something unusual. We stopped waiting for danger to appear, and instead, we started creating it ourselves. We climb mountains we don't actually need to climb. We chase speeds no one is forcing us to endure. We jump from heights like bungee jumping or skydiving, not because we have become crazier, but because in modern society, these are among the few ways left to awaken our instincts. In prehistoric times, pushing your limits earned your status, resources, even a mate. But today, those rewards are almost gone. Skydiving won't get you promoted. A bungee jump won't increase your income. Rock climbing won't instantly elevate your social status. By logic, if there is no reward, no one should still be taking risks. Yet people still put their limits, because what they seek is not an external prize, but something much more fundamental. Can I stay calm under pressure? Can I control my own body? When fear hits me, do I run or do I move? These questions barely get tested in modern life. But in extreme situations, the tests are brutally honest. No excuses, no gray areas. If you can do it, you can. If you can't, you know immediately. And that is exactly why, even without prize money, without applause, without anyone even caring, a small group of people still choose to put themselves in those moments. People who spend long periods in high pressure or extreme environments gradually change how their brains respond to stress. Fear doesn't disappear, but it no longer takes over the body instantly, and that brings a very real advantage. When they face the unknown, they are less likely to overwhelmed by emotion. In other words, they are not fearless, they are simply more familiar with fear. This is also the biggest difference between them and people who don't even dare to get on a roller coaster. People who avoid roller coasters usually aren't doing it because the danger is truly high. It's because their brain switches into full avoidance mode before the risk even arrives. Once fear shows up, there's only one option left, which is retreat. But for those who regularly challenge their limits, fear doesn't slam the door shut. Their brain elaborates first, then decides whether to move forward. You can actually see the difference everywhere in life. For example, you can notice that many entrepreneurs, freelancers, or anyone who doesn't follow a typical 9 to 5 career path tend to be more open to things like rock climbing, skydiving, or off-road racing. It's not because they are reckless, it is because they are already used to a certain state of mind, which is making decisions under uncertainty. Entrepreneurs face risk every single day. Will the market accept this? Can the cash flow survive? Did I make the wrong choice? There is no standard answer to any of these questions. Over time, their brain learns something important. When risk appears, don't run first. Look clearly at whether you can handle it. This reaction is almost identical to how they respond during extreme sports. The heart rate rises, fear is still there. But their mind still asks one more question. Given the conditions right now, am I capable of taking one more step forward? In fact, psychology had noticed this long ago. Studies show that when humans face risk, we aren't simply divided into people who are afraid and people who aren't. The real difference lies in how the brain interprets fear. For most people, fear means danger, and danger means stop immediately. But for a small group of people, fear works more like a signal. It reminds them to focus, reassess the situation, and check whether they have the ability to handle it. Scientific research also shows that people who are frequently exposed to high-pressure situations, such as extreme sport athletes, rescue workers, or professional competitors, do not lose their fear response, but their prefrontal cortex takes control much faster. Simply put, they are not less sensitive, they just switch into thinking mode more quickly. That is why they are much less likely to freeze under pressure. Psychology has another important finding. People who spend long periods in predictable, low-risk environments are actually more prone to anxiety when facing the unknown, because the brain lacks practice. Like muscles, if it is never used, it starts to weaken. And extreme sports happen to be a very concentrated training ground. They don't guarantee successes, but they repeatedly train one thing: staying conscious under pressure and making a decision. So the people who love extreme sports are not a group of reckless daredevils. It is because in a world wrapped in layers of protections, we still need some way to confirm whether we are capable of facing the unknown. Alright, that's all for today's sharing. Thank you for watching until the end. I hope today's video gave you something new to learn. Feel free to subscribe to this new channel. I will be sharing interesting knowledge from time to time. See you in the next video.